our second installment of Bass Talk. I'm well aware that my first video in this series I released well over a year ago. So at the rate I'm going, I'll probably get this series done by the time I'm about 130, 140. So thank you for your patience. I sort of do this YouTube thing just when I have the brain space and, you know, life's just busy with everything going on. Today we are checking out the Fender custom shop Pino Palladino signature precision bass. This is what most people would, I guess, consider the holy grail of P basses, and probably the nicest and definitely the most expensive production Fender bass on their catalog right now. Of course, being custom shop, but even amongst the custom shop instruments before you get to master built. Thanks to my good friend Pearson, who's lent me this for an extended period of time while he's away. Thanks, dude, if you're watching this. So I've had this for about a month or so now, taking it out to a couple gigs. So while I haven't had it for a long time, I do feel like I have a fairly developed point of reference with the amount of instruments and even P basses that have come across my hands over the last sort of 20 years or so. So I'm not going to bore you too much with specs. You can find all that stuff online and through the many other videos done on this instrument. And even playing wise, I'm sure there are guys who are demoing this clearer than me and with more sort of tone options. So actually today I just want to talk a little bit about this instrument. I'll play a bit as well, but yeah, mainly just I guess reflect on what I think is the purpose or the place of this sort of instrument for a player or perhaps in a collection. So I'll just go through the specs very quickly. Obviously it's just the standard P bass, everything, right? So older body, it's quite light as well. This lovely Fiesta red finish, tastefully aged sort of hardware, very traditional hardware. You can see the back as well with that sort of relicking. It's got a super duper chunky 62 style neck, which I've got a 60 custom shop, this one right here, which is a beautiful bass, but even the necks between both these instruments feel very different. Quarter sawn maple, I should say, as well. So actually neck stability has been really great through Sydney winter right now as well. The build is just really nice on this. It's just perfect, no buzz. Fretwork is done immaculately. So is this a great bass? I mean, objectively, this is a perfect precision bass. We talk about all the time, like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And it's a redundant talking point, really. This is a fantastic bass. If you can afford it, you can afford it. If not, there are plenty of other great production basses as well. So I'm not going to talk too much about is it worth it or not. I mean, if you've got $9,500 Australian dollars to spend on a P bass, you're doing pretty well. Like, whatever, it's a great bass. Learning about this bass is this thing's just a thump machine, man. Like, when you string this thing with flats, which obviously you're going to want to do, I think it comes with flats anyway, but these are labellas, the chunky neck, the traditional nut spacing and all that, just sort of wants you to play this bass in a certain way, the way the notes ring and bloom and sustain or lack of sustain. It all lends itself towards very specific musical choices when you play an instrument like this. It just forces you to slow down, I think, in a good way. It's not meant to be the most athletic style of bass. And taking a pick to this thing, bit of palm mute, it's just such a pleasing sound. What's this spell controlling me? I'm breaking down, think I need you. Flowers fall when you cross my mind. Sometimes I wish that I couldn't sing, 'cause I took this bass to an opera gig recently. Like I had to play an Italian opera gig, and the brief was actually to play electric bass in a larger orchestra rather than double bass. So I thought, well, let me take something that doesn't sustain super long, like is not super electric sounding, sort of a bit more thuddy. And this thing just sat really, really nicely. Picking up the Pino custom shop and adding it to your collection, because I'm assuming you have a collection, but if you don't, this is a great first bass. By all means, I would, sure, if you can afford it, it's a great first bass. It's not really, like not every P bass is made the same. It's not really a one size fits all. Like my mate who owns this, I think he's up to 4 precision basses right now, and even that's pretty hardcore even by, you know, bass collector standards. Especially with flats, it's going for a very, very specific thing. You know, this thumpy, muted, thuddy, really organic, almost a really acoustic sounding instrument. Even more so than my 1960 custom shop. They just sound really, really different, which I was really actually surprised when I heard them side by side. Just coming back to that no sustain thing, when I was mentioning how thuddy this instrument is, that's not a bad thing. I think sustain has become almost like just another marketing gimmick in the bass advertising world. Like, you know, when you see those ads and the guys are like, oh, listen to how long this low B sustains for. It sustains for 45 seconds or you know, 1 minute. And you got to ask yourself, like, when was the last time, or when do you think will be the next time you're gonna need a low B string to ring out for 45 seconds? Yeah, I find myself, if anything, on the gig doing a lot of left hand and right hand palm muting. I'm actually wanting notes to decay in a certain way as opposed to ring out, because, you know, we're not playing piano here. I don't want this to sound like a piano. I think it's actually a plus that this thing has, you know, a limited sustain. So I know this video hasn't really been a clear-cut pros and cons. I feel like all the cons I would pick out about this sort of swing around to be a pro anyway, like the whole sustain thing. I mean, if you want to call the price a con, that's up to you. The reality is this bass is priced this way because people keep buying it at this price. So like I said, I just don't think it's an irrelevant talking point at this point. And you know, law of diminishing returns, right? Can you get a great P bass at 2K, 3K, 4K? Yeah, man, of course. They're great, but if you can afford this, mate, go for it. This is such a beautiful instrument. It's objectively a perfect P bass in every way. Like, it's so light. The Fender website talks about it being select alder, so I guess they pick, you know, a really nice piece of alder that's not too heavy. I'm sure the quarter sawn maple will be stable for a long time in changing weather conditions, and the fretwork is just perfect. So yeah, man, thanks for checking this out. Thanks, guys.